out here testing the car, driving it to work, treating her as a daily. The pressure is right where she's supposed to be, so is temperature, and let's hit it. Woo! You know, she's slow, but she's got some go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Brailsford Rides. I'm Matt. So on the last episode of Brailsford Rides that you guys saw pertaining to the Foxbody, we had just got it running, took it out for its first spin to test the cooling system, that new improved cooling system, higher capacity, higher flow pump, larger radiator, installing a trans cooler to remove the load from the radiator. I mean, it worked wonders. The needle barely crawled above the O most times at normal. And so I couldn't be happier. So I drove the car, was running good, started noticing some issues, and with the oil gauge. Sorry guys, the lighting sucks. Yeah, with the oil pressure gauge. So initially, what was happening was the car would start up and get to right dead center of the gauge and at idle on cold start. And as the car got warmer, it would start to fall until it was like cresting between the N and the O on normal. And that started to get a little concerning to me. I looked under the car and I was actually leaking a little bit of oil, not from anywhere else, but from the oil sensor. So I imagined that the seal between the threads was probably coming bad, possibly the sensor was also going bad because it's been sitting for a long time. I mean, any number of problems. So I went ahead and bought a new sensor and swapped it out. And to do that, all you need, mine is located here because this is the Thunderbird motor. It's tucked down right in front of the oil filter. To do that, all you need is a 9/16 wrench and a little bit of patience and little slight movements, and it comes right out. There's a push-on cap that attaches to send your electrical signal to the gauge, and so everything was great. I swapped that out, and the needle decided to sit dead center on the first drive. And when it was warm, it stayed dead center, and I drove it all the way to work. I drove it for a couple days. It was great. The other day, I decided to take the car out, and I was going to take it to work, and as soon as I cold started it, it barely got above N, and I was concerned that it would fall to the L on my way to work. So I turned around in my neighborhood, parked the car, and was like, all right, I'll address this later. Come out to the car last night, start the car, the needle didn't move at all. And I was like, my heart just sunk. And I was like, oh my gosh, like the car, I pray to God it doesn't need a new oil pump, because that's a big project. And I mean, I don't mind doing it. But I don't want to do it on this motor. I just want to keep this motor running so we can get the other motor and build that one. So ran through a couple forums, found a couple of things I could try. The first thing was to take the wire that runs to it, the press cap, the threaded press cap, whatever you want to call it, pull it off and ground it, and turn the ignition to see if it would peg the needle by grounding it out. So I pulled that cap off, and I took it. It's not in great shape, guys. Took it and I just grounded it right there on the valve cover bolt that's right there. When I took the key to put it into the run position without actually starting it, pegged the needle, so I knew the gauge was working. So it's one of two things. Either it's not getting a good signal from sensor, or the sensor's bad. I think that my guess, I'm really hoping the sensor's bad. I don't imagine that it would just all of a sudden go from perfect on to off. Alright, so I'm imagining the sensor went bad even though I just bought it. So I picked up something from Harbor Freight that's going to help us determine that. I have a Harbor Freight oil pressure test kit. I've never used one, but we're going to go ahead and screw it in and just see what happens when we start the car, and pray to God we have oil pressure and that'll just prompt me to go get a new sensor. I should get it swapped out. I still have the receipt, and it's literally been like, I don't know, a week. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this, install the sensor, and we'll be right back, guys.
Cause I heard him first. I said, hold on. I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Okay, guys, change of plans. Before we test that, we're going to reinstall this thing, because when I pulled the cap off, there's a little hole right there to allow for some pressure. As you can see, it's seeping out oil. There was what appeared to be some fiber, or possibly whatever you want to call the some residue from some old Teflon tape that got pushed into it and clogged it up. So it was not receiving any pressure because it was blocked in, and it was Teflon tape was getting shoved into it. So I'm going to pull off the Teflon tape that's on there, reinstall this thing, and we'll test it out. And I'm assuming we're probably good to go. I was pretty sure that the oil pump didn't just fail, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to test it out. I'll redo this, and whew, let's just hope for a near miss. Okay, so we went ahead, reinstalled the pressure sensor, and yeah, this might hopefully be an easy fix. Let's start the car and see what happens to pressure here. All right, here we go. Test. Of course, there's a battery connection. I gotta go jiggle now. All right, moment of truth. Oh, there she goes, coming back to life. How high is up she going? All the way. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No problem. Just a silly issue. That is super exciting. I am so tickled to death that it was that easy, man. What a dumb issue. And now that I know the car's running all right, I might drive this to work tomorrow again. Me and Brutus are gonna go pick up the boys in the Foxbody here. Where Brutus? Brutus, hi. Hi. I brought him because I thought he'd want to come have fun. He likes going for rides.
Why you come pick us up Why you come pick us up
With Brutus?
Yeah.
Because Brutus likes going for rides, so we took him for a ride today. About 50 miles on it so far. It's doing good, guys. I'm pretty confident I think take it on a road trip. Woo! So I'm gonna experiment with the AOD shuffle. It accelerates okay with using the AOD shuffle. We'll do a pull with that here in a second. There we go. AOD shuffle. Go. Not bad at all. Well, that's not good. So guys, I was on my way to work and I noticed it was leaking. I'm trying to figure out exactly where it's coming from. See that bolt down there? It's all around there. You can see all the steam coming off and kind of cooking on the motor. I don't think it was coming from the housing. I can hear bubbling, I just don't know where it's coming from. I can't tell. It might be from this heater core hose. The heater core hose is one I didn't replace, so I can't quite tell without taking everything else off. So that's probably what I'm gonna have to do, is take everything off to inspect it. All right, so I took off the upper hose, leaked a lot of coolant, took off the heater core line, and I looked in there, hold on a sec, I looked in there and there's nothing appearing to be wrong with this hose. However, this, when I ripped that off, this was sitting on the pump, and it had ruptured. I don't know if this is a choke sleeve that's supposed to be on there or not, but I'm going to take it off and I'm going to try and just gronk that down the way it is, and let's see if we can get enough closure on it. Maybe this was required. I don't know. But we'll see if we can fix the leak doing it this way. And if not, I'll be probably buying a new hose. I think this is it. I'm 99% sure. I mean, this points to a failure right here. So we're going to try and button it all back up and see if it leaks. Now we wait. Not leaking so far. It was pouring before. But it's still cold, so give it a minute. Yeah, it's got to warm up. Alright. God, it's so fuzzy. Alright, temps are getting up into the normal gauge. Definitely getting hot. I'm pretty sure I was leaking that hose. You can't even see it, but right in there. It doesn't appear to be leaking. Doesn't appear to be leaking there right now. I'm not leaking down here. I might be okay. And then I'm going to call it, after I let it run for about 5 more minutes, I'm going to call it case closed. I can't even put my head in there, it's so hot. I got a pretty good exhaust leak over here somewhere, I can hear it. It's burning my eyes, actually. I'll have to figure that out. Well, that was an easy fix. Thank God. Man, I can't tell you guys. I really enjoyed driving this car, so if it had been down and I had to take like a water pump off or just to get thermostat housing again, probably would have sat for a bit because that would have been super ticked off. But I think it's an easy fix. I mean, the chances of it being a water pump after not leaking were pretty low, so it was a good chance it was a hose. And I don't know why there was like a little insert in there, but it didn't appear to be attached to the hose at all, so I don't know what that was. But we got it off, and it seems to be running like a champ. Guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for sticking with me as I troubleshot my car. I'm sorry I didn't bring you guys a test pressure gauge. I probably could have still hooked it up, but it was such an easy fix. I'm just happy to have it. And now I've got an extra tool in the garage for when I need it to rebuild the other motor. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed that, please click that like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Brailsford Rides. Take care, guys. All right, everybody. It is time for an upgrade. I've been working on the GoPro 5 for quite a while now. And I was going to get the 10, but I had actually a friend who's having overheating issues, reading all the reviews on overheating issues. We're even running at 4K 30 frames a second, so I figured, you know what, I'm just going to get the 9K, or the 9. It'll be more than enough for my needs. So the next video should be shot in this thing, and we'll see how it goes.